here we have two types of architectures. First one is standalone server architecture. Okay.
Okay.
WebSphere architecture. Here we have two types of architectures. First one is standalone architecture, and the second one is network deployment. Okay, so here standalone architecture means it contains only single server. Okay.
Okay.
Contains single WebSphere Application Server. Okay, and coming to network deployment, here we can create multiple servers and we have different types of servers. Okay, so network deployment means it is the advanced version of standalone. Okay, so in this we have different servers for different purposes.
Okay.
Okay, and we can have multiple application servers. Okay, so now we will see what is a standalone, how the structure is there. Okay. Standalone architecture. So you are able to see this screen, right? So PDF.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the standalone architecture of WebSphere Application Server. Okay, if you observe here in red color box, okay, red color box is nothing but one single WebSphere Application Server. Okay, so in this single WebSphere Application Server we have some containers. So these are all the containers available in single server. Okay, so those containers is nothing but, first one is web-based admin, that means WebSphere Application Server administration console. So nothing but admin console where we do all administration tasks. Okay, so that will be installed by default in WebSphere Application Server. And the second one is EJB container. So EJB container is used for to execute EJB code. Okay, so as in yesterday's class we have discussed about EJB code, EJB, session EJB, entity EJB and message driven EJB, right? So that EJB code will be executed in this container. So here the container means it is the area where the code is executing. Okay, it is like a compiler. Okay, so EJB container executes EJB code whenever we deploy in WebSphere Application Server. Okay, and coming to web container, this web container executes web applications, nothing but servlet, JSP, HTML code. Normal web pages will be executed in this web container. Okay, and web services, if we have any web services, if we deploy web services, so the container will execute this web services here. Okay, and messaging services, messaging applications, and JDK, Java Development kit. That means normal Java applications. Okay, so in one server, these are all the containers available. Okay, this is what happens in the server internally. Okay, and here if you observe here, in standalone architecture we can see only the version WebSphere Application Server Express. That means this standalone application server architecture we can install in only 2 machines. Okay, so it is specific to only 2 machines. We cannot install in a third machine. Okay, so this is a drawback of standalone architecture application server. Okay, only 2 CPUs we can utilize this software. Okay, and coming to how the application server is working. Okay, in real time runtime. Okay, so this is WebSphere architecture runtime. So what is happening internally? So if the server, if any client or user is trying to access application, so how the server is responding? Okay, if you observe here, here is the browser. Okay, browser means our normal browsers like Chrome, Mozilla Firefox or IE. Okay, so user is trying to access some application through browser. Okay, so that request is coming to first web servers. Okay, so web servers is the first point of contact, because web servers only can handle HTTP and HTTP requests. Okay, so after that the request is coming to embedded HTTP servers. Nothing but it is the part of application server. Okay, so that request is coming to embedded HTTP server. After that request is coming to WebSphere application server. Okay, so as we discussed earlier image, so here is the web container to execute servlet and JSP code, and here is the EJB container for executing the EJB code. Okay, and here is the container for web services engine. Okay, and messaging engine. Okay, so this is complete structure in the server. So these are all the containers available in WebSphere application server. Okay, and if you see here, these are all the services provided by the WebSphere application server. Dynamic cache. Dynamic cache means suppose cache means it is one type of memory. Okay, so dynamic cache means the memory will be stored dynamically. So dynamic means everything it will be updated. Okay, and name servers, security, JMX, data replication. So these are all the services provided by the application server. Okay, and here, and then coming to SOAP or HTTP. So SOAP means simple object access protocol. Okay, so this is one type of protocol where we can transfer the data from one server to another server. Okay, so this protocol uses this web servlet client uses SOAP protocol or HTTP protocol. Okay, for connecting the WebSphere application server. Okay, and JMS also will connect through SOAP. Okay, and if you and then coming to backend, in backend we have Java client, and this is the database. Application data will be saved in database, and JMS client. Okay, so this is the front end, this is complete front end, and this is the back end. Okay, and we are in middle. The application server is in the middle. So like this, whenever we deploy the application, so that deploying the that application will be splitted into and it will execute according to that containers. Okay, so this is happening internally. Understood?
Yeah.
Fine, right?
One second. One second.
Yeah.
How the plugin will be like from browser to HTTP server plugin?
Here plugin means the plugin is the mediator between WebSphere Application Server and web server. Okay, so the plugin file will store the information of WebSphere Application Server. Okay, so whenever the request coming from the client, that request comes to web server first. After that, the plugin file take the responsibility and it forward that request to the application server. Okay, so the plugin file job is take the request and it will check the server availability. Okay, actually here this is the standalone application server, but in real time we have multiple servers. So at that time the plugin file identifies the server, which server is available. Then the plugin file forward that request to that particular server. Okay,
That one called node agent, right?
That is information, that is configuration information, node agent. So this is application request.
Okay.
So this is application request forwarding. So that is WebSphere application server configuration. Configuration is different, application is different, right?
Okay.
So, and also here if you observe, here we can see two protocols, RMI and IIOP. Okay, so these two protocols forward that request from web container to EJB container, because suppose I have deployed some enterprise application. Okay, at that time the request coming to web container first. Okay, so but the web container doesn't have business code. At that time the request is going to EJB container through these two protocols, RMI and IIOP. RMI means remote method invocation. IIOP means internet intra object request broker protocol. Okay, if you want I can write here.
Yeah.
Okay, so these two are the protocols used for to transfer the request from a web container to EJB container whenever the request whenever the enterprise application or deployed in the server. Okay, so this is standalone architecture. Then we will go with network deployment architecture. So in network deployment architecture we can see different servers for different purposes, and we can see multiple servers, multiple application servers also. Okay, so let's see the architecture of network deployment. Okay, so this is network deployment architecture. The red box, the entire box contains network deployment. Okay, so network deployment means it is the environment where we can create multiple servers for multiple purposes, and we can create multiple application servers. Okay, and if you observe here, first one is clustering. That means clustering is a group of WebSphere application servers under network deployment. Okay, these clusters are used for failover, load balancing, and scalable purpose. So we will discuss in detail in clustering topic. So as of now, clustering means it is a group of WebSphere application servers. Okay, and node agent is also a server which is used for to transfer the data from admin deployment manager and application server. It is the mediator between deployment manager server and normal application server. Okay, and we have another server, deployment manager. This is the manager for entire WebSphere application server environment. So the deployment manager saves the master configuration of the entire environment, and it manages all the application servers which are running in that environment. Okay, and this is the services, web services gateway. After that, here normal application server, nothing but already we discussed standalone. So like this we have different servers and multiple servers under network deployment architecture. Okay, so in standalone architecture we have only one server. We can deploy that server in the two missions, and each and every operation task we will do with the only one server. But in network deployment we have different servers. We can create multiple servers. We can install the product in different, multiple CPUs. Okay, and coming to runtime environment, how the network deployment is working. Okay, so this is the runtime flow. If you observe, here is the browser. User is trying to access the application. That request is coming to load balancer first. So load balancer means balancing the load which comes from the client. So here a load balancer is a physical mission. Okay, so that physical mission contains some algorithms. So according to that algorithms, the request it takes the request from the client and forward that request to the application servers. Okay, so after this the load balancer taking the request from the client and forwarding that request to the web servers. Okay, here I have two web servers. Now here HTTP server means web server only, so we can call it as HTTP server or web server or proxy server. Three names are same. Okay, proxy server, HTTP server or web server, three names are same. Here I have two web servers, and the web server contains HTTP server plugin to store the application server information. Okay, so the plugin file will identify the availability of application server and forward that request to the particular application server. Okay, and here I have two web servers, and after this web server the web server is forwarding that request to the application server. Here I have two nodes, node A and node B. Okay, so node means it is a physical server. Okay, so node is nothing but it is a physical server where we used to create where we used to install and create application servers. Okay, in node 1 I have two application servers, app server 1 and app server 2, and the same way in node B I have app server 3 and app server 4. Okay, and in backend we can see Java client and DBMS database. Okay, so in network deployment we saw multiple servers. Okay, this is the runtime flow. So if any the application will be deployed in the application server. So whenever the client send a request, the request is coming like this. Okay.
Okay, Ram, can you repeat once again about the HTTP server?
Yeah, HTTP server means a web server. Okay, so web servers we can call it as HTTP servers. Okay, so IBM using IHS, that means IBM HTTP server. Okay, IBM HTTP server, nothing but which server, HTTP servers handles HTTP requests. That's why we are calling it as HTTP servers. Okay, both the two names are same, web server or HTTP server. Both the names are same. Okay. Any clarification in this diagram? Runtime flow.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Give me a second. 1 second.
Yeah, sure. Okay. You're making notes or what?
No. I'm go through once.
Okay.
In application server, there are small boxes are there, right? What is
Those boxes are nothing but we saw in standalone architecture, EasyB container, web container, web services.
okay.
Those are all the small boxes. I'll tell you one more time. So
Yes.
so this entire thing we can see small boxes there. Got it?
Yep.
Fine now.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. So this is the runtime flow, and we will see the complete architecture. Okay. So this is the complete architecture of ND, administration flow. This is complete network deployment architecture. Okay. So earlier we saw runtime environment. That means whenever the request comes, how the request is executing in the server. This is entire architecture. Okay. Here we can see this is browser based console where we do all the operations for WebSphere Application Server. Okay. This is GUI mode administration. Okay, and this GUI mode administration using HTTP protocol to connect with DMGR, because DMGR is the main server, so it is maintaining all the configuration in the WebSphere Application Server. Okay, and then the second one is command line administration. This is we have two administrative clients. First one is admin console, second one is WS admin. So we can do the administration in two ways. One is GUI, second one is command line. So for GUI we use this console, for command line we use WS admin command. Okay. So browser uses HTTP protocol, command line uses SOAP protocol. Okay, and coming to deployment manager. So the deployment manager is this main server. Okay, and in this we have admin application, so nothing but this browser. Okay, and the deployment manager contains one web container, because we don't deploy any applications in deployment manager, but this console is one of the web application. For executing this web application we have web container under deployment manager. Okay, so simply we can say deployment manager is one server for administration. Okay, so we do not deploy any enterprise Java applications in deployment manager. Okay, only application servers we can deploy applications. Okay, but here we have web container because this deployment manager having web application, that is nothing but web console. So that's why we have here web container. Okay, and we have another container web for web services, admin services. Okay, and here the deployment manager maintaining master configuration. So that means master configuration contain entire environment configuration. Okay, so if you observe here cell config, under this cell config we have node config, under this we have servers. Okay, and node 2, and node 2 also we have two servers, server 3 config, server 4 config, and here we have application. So that means servers, okay, servers, nodes, cells and applications. So entire configuration will be saved in master configuration. So this master configuration is managed by deployment manager. Got it?
Yes.
Okay, now coming to application servers. Okay, so these two are the application servers. I mean node 1 one mission and node 2 is another mission. Okay, so here this is the node agent is created after federation. Federation means we need to map application servers to DMGR server. Okay, normal WebSphere
Application servers.
yeah, normal application servers we are mapping to deployment manager for management purpose. Okay, so in that activity node agent will be created. Okay, node agent will be created and it acts as a mediator between application servers and DMGR server. Okay, okay, so here node 1 having two servers, server 1 and server 2. Server 1, server 2 is nothing but WebSphere application servers. Okay, nothing but application servers. Okay, so and here we have node agent. This node agent contains admin services because this is maintaining, the node agent is maintaining these two servers via admin deployment manager. And here is the cell configuration and node configuration, and we have two servers, so two servers configuration under this node 1. Okay, so this is entire node 1 server configuration, and the similar same way we have node 2 also. So why here we are seeing two nodes means we can maintain the nodes, multiple nodes by the deployment manager. Okay, so suppose I have node 3 also in this, so that node 3 also be managed by the deployment manager. Okay, so this is complete architecture of network deployment. Got it now?
Yeah.
Clear everything? Okay.
Yes, yes.
So then we will go with installations. Okay.
Yeah.
So under this installation, first we should check the prerequisites of our mission. So that means operating system, RAM size, processor, hard disk capacity. So being an administrator, first we should understand the in Linux mission or Windows mission architecture. Okay, so the operating system will be is the first prerequisite. installation prerequisites. First one is operating system. So under this operating system we can use Windows and Unix. Okay, so in Windows we use Windows servers, Windows 2003 and Windows 2008. Okay, and Unix we can use Linux. Unix is nothing but it's one platform, one product. So under this we have Linux, Solaris, AIX, and HP UX. Okay, so but most of the time we use Linux only. Okay, and AIX, these two operating systems we use. Solaris and HP Unix we don't use. So most of the time 95% Linux, and if it is IBM product then we will go with, sometimes they will it depends on client. Okay, if the client is able to purchase the license of Linux, they will go with Linux, or they will go with IBM AIX. It depends on client, so we cannot say which operating system. So but most of the time we use Linux only. Okay, and architecture of the system, we have two bits, 32-bit and 64-bit. Okay, so being an administrator we should know these basic things, so before going to install the product. Okay, so now we are comfortable with operating system. Next, RAM size, random access memory. So the RAM size should be 4 GB minimum RAM. So from 4 GB to we can use whatever 64 GB. In real time we can see the RAM sizes minimum 16 GB. 16 GB minimum we can see in real time. Okay, but for product installation and maintain the servers, for practices we can 4 GB RAM is enough, but in real time it is not we need to serve the multiple applications, right? So they will use 64-bit 16 GB RAMs, 32 GB RAMs and 64 GB RAMs and 128 GB RAMs also. It depends on the project. Okay, this is the minimum and this is the maximum RAM. Okay. Processors, they'll use power systems. Okay, so power systems, processors they use. Okay, and hard disk size is, so 40 GB is minimum. 40 GB means it won't take 40 GB. The installation, the product installation will take 2 GB or 3 GB only. But just I'm saying 40 GB disk space minimum for the server, and we can use till 1 terabyte. Okay, so these are all the prerequisites before going to install the product. Okay, so we should understand these things. We should check the operating system, RAM size, what is the RAM size, sufficient RAM size is available or not, and we will check the bit of the operating system, whether 32-bit and 64-bit. So accordingly we have to choose the software here. Okay, and processor and hard disk capacity. Okay, and coming to product installation, before going to install WebSphere Application Server product, first we should install IAM. Okay, so IAM means IBM installation manager. Okay, so IBM installation manager, so it is used for install, uninstall, all WebSphere products. Okay, so all WebSphere products we can install and uninstall. So that means without IAM we cannot install any of the product from WebSphere. So earlier we have discussed all the products, how many products we have under WebSphere. We have 5 products under WebSphere. First one is WebSphere Application Server. Second one is WebSphere Process Server. Third one is WebSphere Portal Server. Fourth one is WebSphere Message Broker MB. And fifth one is Message Queues. WebSphere Message Queues. So 5 products available under WebSphere platform. So the base is WebSphere Application Server only. For installing any of the product, installation manager is required. So first we should install the installation manager. After that we will go with product installation. Okay. So once the installation manager is installed, then product installation. Okay, so nothing but WebSphere product installation. Okay, so after that, along with product installation we will not get any servers, no servers. Okay, no servers, so we will not get any servers, only product files we will get. So after that we have to create the profiles. So profile means it contains a set of files and directories, so which provides WebSphere Application Server environment. Okay, next, profile creation. Okay, here we have different types of profiles. I'm making it as step 1 and step 2 and step 3. Okay, so why it is okay. So under this profile creation we have different types of profiles. The first one is DMGR profile. This profile creation we will discuss later because we have 7 types of profiles. First go with IBM installation manager today. Okay, IBM installation manager, then we will install the product later. Okay, after product installation we will go with profile creations. Okay, so under this profile we have cell, under this cell we have node, under this node we have application servers. So we will discuss the profiles later.
The application servers means it's like a physical servers, right?
Application server,
the node.
Node is physical.
Node is physical.
Yeah, node means it's a physical. Okay, so under this physical server we have WebSphere Application Server. Okay.
I'm small. I'm a bit confused about that. Like, uh, see, actually, for a project, they
Hmm.
need web servers and application servers, right?
Hmm. Correct.
Yes. So, for example, web services. I mean, if anyone click the link from the browser, the link will go to, I mean, in the network mode, means it will go to the load balancer. To
Hmm.
the load balancer, it will go to the WebSphere application.
Web servers.
After
It
that,
will
the
go to
WebSphere, yeah,
first. It will go to
web
the load
servers.
balancer, then web servers. Nothing but HTTP servers, because
Yeah,
web servers can understand the HTTP requests. Okay.
yeah.
Mm. So the
After that,
HTTP.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, carry.
Mm. That after that it will go to application servers, because application is installed in application server only, so not in web servers. So web server just
Okay.
simply forward that request to the application server. Okay. So then if the application is available, if the URL, I mean what the application is pages are available, it will give you the pages, otherwise it will show page cannot be displayed. Okay.
Okay.
Error codes, that error codes are
Yeah, yeah.
displaying by HTTP server only. Okay, it
Okay.
will go and verify the application server. So if the file is available, if the application is available, the web page is available, it will display, otherwise
Hmm.
it will throw an error. It will throw 404 page cannot be displayed, like that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Sometimes it will display 500 bad gateway, so those errors are also identified by the HTTP server only. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So now we will go with installation manager. I think I told you the, I mean, administration will be on Linux. You are comfortable on Linux, right?
Yeah.
So this is my Linux mission.
Okay.
So now I'm going to install installation manager. Okay. So this is not a part of WebSphere application server. It is just installation manager, which we use for install uninstall WebSphere products. Not only WebSphere application server. Any product from WebSphere we can install and uninstall. So without this we cannot go with installation of WebSphere product. So that's why we are installing. So this in installation manager introduced in 8 version 8. Before 8 there is no installation manager. So directly we can
Okay.
install the product. Okay. So I am in desktop. Here is the software WAS 8.5. One moment. Actually, I do not have installation manager software here. Let me couple of minutes. I'll copy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our version is Linux, right? We will copy the Linux version. Actually, WebSphere application server product, a set of binary files. Okay. So the binary files, nothing but this is the binary file directory. I will show you after this copy.
Okay.
Okay, so WebSphere Application Server product, uh, three disk files, binary files. Okay, and remaining or supporting files. And this is the IHS, nothing but IBM HTTP server. Okay, so this also contains three disks. Okay, so total 6 binary files for WebSphere Application Server and IHS. And I'm going to install this one. Go to the desktop. So before going to install any product in Linux machine, first we should check the file permissions. So in Windows machine never protect for the files and directories, folders. So we can create the folders, we can modify the folders, we can create the files and modify the files, we can delete everything, we can do without any permissions. But in Linux everything is the permission. Okay, so first we should check the permissions. So this is the file having already full permissions, so otherwise we should give the permissions. Okay, so this is the permission details. Direct D means directory, and user having read write execute permission, and group having read write execute permission, and others also having read write execute permission. So that means the file having full permissions. And then go to that file. Here install, execute this one. So for executing any file, any executable file in Linux, we should use /. Okay, so dot means current directory, slash means root directory. So here I am in current directory, so for I am executing this file in the current directory as a root directory with the root permissions. Root means administrator, so with the root permissions I am executing this command. Okay, install.
Okay.
So installation manager window, it will take hardly 5 minutes. Okay, so IBM installation manager, the version is 1.6.2. Okay,
Okay.
just click on next here. Accept the license agreement, click on next, and this is the path it is going to be installed. So opt/IBM/installation manager Eclipse. So in this path the software is going to be installed. Okay, and the total disk space is 10 GB. This is virtual machine, so I have given space only 10 GB for this virtual machine. So it is showing the total memory. Okay, so this is the default path. If you want to make the changes in the path, you can browse, you can give the customized path also, so as your wish. So but better to use the default paths every time. In real time also we will use default paths only for identification. Then click on next here, install. Okay, so installation is taking 248 MB in my disk space. 248 MB it is taking. Okay, and click on install. It is going to install now. It will take hardly 2-3 minutes time. That's it. Okay, so successfully installed. The packages are installed here. If you want to see the status, click on leave log file. Okay, so if you click on this log file, one file will be opened. So in that we can find out all the information, installation information. So just click on restart installation manager here. Okay, that means software is installed, just we are starting installation manager, that's it. Okay, so this is the main window. After installation we got this window. So using this console, using this window, we can install all WebSphere products here, and we can upgrade the products, modify the products, roll back, uninstall. Okay, install, update, modify, and uninstall, roll back. Okay, so everything we can do from this console. So without console we cannot do anything. Okay,
Okay.
so this is installation of installation manager. Okay, so now go and verify the path. So where we install the software, go to OPT, IBM. Okay, so here installation manager. Okay, installation manager is installed now. So if you want to see the license, go with the license directory, properties, Eclipse. So these are all the things not required, just I'm showing you, that's it. Okay, go to the version. So the version is 1.6.2. Okay, so any doubts till now? Okay, so I'm stopping here. Tomorrow we will install product, WebSphere Application Server product. Then we will create profiles, DMGR profile, application server profile.